one of the most asked questions, one of the greatest causes of frustration for dog owners has to be, my dog won't come when I call him, right? So let's make it, let's do something about that. Let's make something work that you're already doing and don't realize maybe that will work. So when people come bring their dogs here for training, the way our system works, we sit down with you and we do what we call a profile. We're going to ask for behavior issues, your dog pulling on a leash, jumping on people, you know, whatever bad habits your dog's got that you want to change. Do you play fetch with him? Do you want to play fetch with him? Will he bring a ball back? You know, that's the first part. The second thing we're going to ask about is, that's the behavior issues. The next thing we're concerned about is actual training. What commands does your dog know? And it always kind of confuses me. People bring their dogs here for us to train them. And then when I say, well, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this. And they'll say, oh, well, I train him. I train him. I'm training him all. He's trained. He's real trained. What is he? Well, I train every meal. I say, sit. And some people really get advanced and they'll go, and wait or stay. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, your dog sits and he waits. That's well trained. Now, let me ask you a question. What behaviors do you want changed other than the jumping and the pulling? Well, he just won't come when I call him. Oh, okay. So let me get this straight. If your dog, you've trained your dog, if your dog were running, about to run into the street in the traffic, no, excuse me, let me back up a second. So I'll say, how do you mean he's trained? I said, well, every meal, like I said, every meal, I make him sit and wait or stay before I feed him. So that's our training time. Okay, so now if your dog were running into the street with oncoming traffic, would you rather have him sit or come when you call him? Well, I want him to come when I call him, of course. Okay, so on this sheet it says, does not come when I call. Right? Right, that's what I'm trying to make him come when I call him. He just won't come when I call him. I don't know what gets into him. So, again I ask, do you prefer that he sit when he's running into oncoming traffic? Or do you want him to come back to you? Think about it, folks. I don't understand why we're asking our dogs to do something as basic as sit when you actually could be teaching him to come at the same meal every day you feed that dog. Well, the response we're looking for well-trained dogs, dogs that follow every command, is what's termed a conditioned response, muscle memory, Pavlovian responses, whatever you want to say. And the way you reach this conditioned response is by practicing one maneuver correctly. You can't do it with mistakes, over and over and over until your nervous system literally writes a path in your brain as to what to do in this particular circumstance. Say if you wanted to be a big MMA fighter or boxer, you'd practice a jab and practice a jab and practice a jab. And as long as you practice it correctly, every time you did it, if you practice it 100 times, say, and then someone jumped out of an alley and hollered boo, and you went in the dark, you would land a perfect jab because without looking, without thinking, you have conditioned your nervous system to make your muscles respond, boom, in this way. That's what a well-trained dog does. So, remember, I said practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So you've got to make your dog come to you failingly every time you say that command for, 50 times, 100 times. It'll vary with every dog. And if he does it perfectly every time, after so many times, he will come the rest of his life without ever even thinking. He'll just turn and come back to you, right? Conditioned response. Simple as that. So, dogs don't do anything without a reason, right? They got to have a reason to do it. And sometimes just you asking them to do something is all the reason they need. Other times they need a little bit more reason, like if they're smelling where this pretty little girl poodle was walking around here because she's in heat yesterday, and you're over here hollering, come here, come on, come. And they hear that 27 times a day. Obviously, that's a bigger reason to stay there than it is to go there. So to overcome that temptation, that distraction, we need a conditioned response in our dog. And you get that the same way that they taught their dogs to sit. Because every time they say sit, she tells me the dog sits. So obviously that's down. The thing what you want to do from now on, especially if you're starting with a pup, at mealtime, show them the food, get your command that you're going to use, come, here, whatever you're going to say. Make it something kind of unique. Make it something that they're not going to hear 27 times a day. Because when they're hearing it constantly and not following that command, you're ruining all the good training you just did. Remember, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So you can say, you can use the word front. It means come right here. You can do bring or here, whatever, but whatever you're using, reserve it for mealtime. Let them smell the food. Step back 2 or 3 steps real quick and say, front. Good boy. Give him a little treat. Step back again and go front. Good boy. Give him a treat. Step back a 3rd time and go front. Give him a treat. Put the food down. Let him eat. You just did a training session, and the important thing is your dog did it just right every time because he had the scent of the food right in front of him, bringing him to exactly where he should be. And when you moved, he followed, so he knows when he hears front, he should go to you. You are now conditioning a response. In 1 month's time, if you do that at every meal, you can say front if that dog's chasing a cat, and he'll turn and come back to you. So simple as that. Remember, we've got to get that conditioned response. Practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Get your dog doing it successfully and correctly every time for the first 100 times, 75 times, depending on your dog. And you will never, ever have to worry about him coming when you call him again. So, tip for today, it's all about the dogs. Thanks, Rick.